Hey guys, I'm the 50s kid. This is an E46 BMW, and I've actually already torn the intake manifold out of it because I've been having issues with the starter. And this starter was actually a replacement that I got from a junkyard because back when I did my transmission job, I cracked my original starter. So I just got one from a junkyard, threw it in, and now it's giving me problems. You know, the Bendix doesn't engage sometimes and it just spins. So I'm gonna change it with a starter that I got from a junkyard, which is not a smart idea on my part. But you know what? I was there one day and I was working on a car that I know had low miles and it had a lot of other nice parts, and I can just tell it, you know, everything was good. So I got the starter and I'm gonna throw that in, and just gonna show you how to do that. Basically, you know, the biggest part of this job is taking off the intake manifold. If you don't know how to do that, there's gonna be a little info button that's popping up on the screen right now that's gonna take you to my intake manifold video. So go ahead and check that out first, and then you can come back here and you can see where we are, and then and I'll show you how to get the starter the rest of the way off and then put the new one in. So let's get started. So here we go, intake manifold removed. Obviously our starter is right there, ready for us to work on. It's a 13 to get this nut off. Probably put that nut on there slightly too tight because I did see the plastic tweak a little bit right here. So that's something you don't want to do. There should be a 10 and an 8 if I'm not mistaken. Underneath. Come on. All right, guys, the key to doing this without having to lower the transmission down from the back and get a bunch of sockets and extensions in from the back there is a 3/8 box wrench. 10 millimeter may work, but it's a little loose. So a 3/8 box wrench will fit over, I believe that's an E12, perfectly. And what you want to do is you want to use the double wrench trick, which is where you take a slightly larger box wrench and you hook it onto the first like that, and it gives you extra leverage. So I'm going to try to do this without knocking the camera over. Am I going the right way? Yeah. There. So that was all the leverage that I needed to get that thing cracked. Now I can pretty much just get it out with just one of the wrenches. Trickier one is going to be the bottom one. The bottom one is going to be about right here. It looks like I can get on it right there and slip the wrench on like there. And you don't want to do that. And you really, really, really want to avoid stripping these things off because this box wrench doesn't completely hold onto the nut perfectly. So go ahead and spray these. Actually, that's what I should have done. Give them some penetrating fluid. I've had them off recently, obviously, a couple months ago, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to be a pain. I'll still hit that one with some just to make it come out easier still. And the big trick really is just making sure your wrench is all the way on. I mean, if it's not getting on all the way that way, right there, then I'm going to move it. I think what has happened is what I didn't want to happen. I think I've slightly distorted the head of the nut, in which case this has just become a lot more difficult for me. It's something you don't want to have happen. So I might have to cheat and switch to my E-torque socket and my my flex wrench. Okay, so I've got my ratchet with the E12 bit on there, and I can't get it all the way on because I've messed it up a little. I'm trying to just sort of pull it on as best I can. So hopefully it stays on there and doesn't strip off the head. I need a little extension. A little bit of a cheater bar. Okay, this big 1-inch wrench is gonna be my cheater bar, I hope. Yay. So, some idiot put these in way too tight. Wonder who that was. Moral of the story, don't put them in that damn tight. There's really no need. So now I'm just going to carefully get the bolts out. That's going to be long and boring, so we'll pick it up after I have those bolts out. I'll tell you what, guys, the most difficult part of this job is just unscrewing those bolts. And you really, really want to have a flex head ratchet like I do with an E-Torx bolt. You can get a flex head ratchet and these E-Torx bolts at Harbor Freight for probably $20, $30. Honestly, it's a must. Otherwise, you're just going to be here forever. So yeah, got the two bolts out, and now we can just pull the starter back off its little peg. There's this little alignment peg that it's on, which is right there. And you got to be very careful not to bend that peg. Check it out, make sure it's not bent. I've had several people tell me that they've bent this peg. You know, a couple of guys have been doing the transmission rebuild job that I've done in my videos, and you know, they're having issues. So make sure that that peg is not bent. If it is, try to get a socket on it with a long extension and use that to sort of pry it back and, you know, bend it back into place. And if you can't get it perfectly straight, just chop off most of it, because chances are the last like 1/4 inch is going to be straight and you won't have bent that. So as long as you have something for the starter to index in, you're all good. And if you're having trouble getting the new starter in, chamfer, give the tip of it a chamfer so that you can slip a new starter on more easily. By the way, this is a really good time to replace your crankshaft's position sensor. But you can still get to this from underneath the car if you ever need to do that. All right, so we got our new starter here. I just tested it, made sure it works. And guys, I know that pulling the intake manifold and all this stuff, I'm gonna be doing it all again when I start my rebuild job in a couple weeks, but my original plan was always to wait until I started that to, you know, do this starter video, because that way I don't only have to take the intake manifold off once, but I don't have my loaner vehicle here right now, so I can't really start the job yet, and I need my car for this weekend, so no big deal. Only took half an hour to pull the intake manifold off, and I'm not too upset about it. So I do want to mention the fact that you probably will have this bracket on the lower starter bolt right there. Now I suggest you just bend it out of the way in order to get access to this bolt if you find that it's in your way. Obviously I didn't put it on last time because I feel that it's not needed. All it does is hold a wiring harness right there, but there's no need. So just want to mention that. The thing that sucks the most is that you can't use the flex head ratchet on this top one, really. There's just not enough room between the firewall up here and the bolt. So you definitely have to use a box wrench for this. I would highly suggest like ratcheting wrenches. Get a 3/8 ratcheting wrench, preferably one that has an angle on it, and you'll be golden. If I had that for this, oh, would have been done already. Problem is I have a 10mm ratcheting wrench, but you can only put it on you can only put it on with the bevel or the angle down like that. You can't get it on this way because there's a little collar on it that won't let a bolt go through. If only, if only. So I'm just spending some time, you know, running the top bolt down by hand. The bottom bolt's a lot easier. There's room enough to get the flex head ratchet on that one. And when you're running this bolt down, make sure that you're started on the peg, because it is a little easier if you pull the starter out. You know, it's a little easier to get on the bolt that way. But as you're running it down, if it's not on that peg and you just keep running it down, it's going to bend the peg. And I think that's probably how a lot of people end up damaging it. So make sure you're started on that peg before you go crazy with these bolts, okay? So I've got the lower one here tight. And let's see about the upper one. Yeah, I can't get that tight with this. So move back to the box wrench and we can use the double wrench trick to get it tight as well. Just slip the wrench over there. And that is all we need. That starter is on there. So I'll pop that back in place. Now go ahead and get our wires back on. These are two different sizes, so you can't get them wrong. Just kind of want to make these hand tight, really. I'm gonna just barely snug them. Just a quarter turn for that one, quarter turn for that one. And that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and get these cables back on. This cable goes on first, and the one that goes down to the alternator goes on second. So that's like the main power cable that runs up through the intake manifold right here. And we will also just snug that up. And that's it. That is it. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the intake manifold back on and we'll be done with this job. Guys, whenever you do an intake manifold job, always double check your cylinders, make sure that nothing fell in there. Obviously you can see I've got a little something in there, one of those little rubber bumper things that fits on the valve cover or the engine cover, engine like heat cover or whatever. So I'm gonna get that out of there with a little needle nose pliers. Always, always double check. And there we go. That's what that looks like. Wow. By the way, guys, this is the intake manifold right here while I've got it off, and it's upside down right now. This right here is the O2 Pilot mod, and as you can see, I've now got it tucked behind the idle air control valve. It used to have a lot more length on it. I just snipped off that excess length and connected it right up. That way it's just kind of tucked up in here neatly and it doesn't hang all over the place, and you know, it's kind of a more tidy routing method. So just wanted to share that with you. Okay, we are all back together. And here's the moment of truth. So yeah, it takes a little while, but it's not too difficult in the end. 3/8 inch box wrench is key for this job. Ratcheting box wrench would be ideal, honestly. And that's it. Please like and subscribe. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.